ABC Wide Bay. Our chat this morning is about a topic that isn't one spoken in social circles all that many times. We're talking about bankruptcy, people having issues, and of course there are people in our region suffering from coronavirus, and sometimes that has got into the financial state. Alan Nicholls is a chartered accountant. He's also a trustee in relation to bankruptcy. Alan, good morning.
Good morning, Rick. How are you?
Going pretty well. Alan, is it been a bit of a follow-on, a sad reaction to the coronavirus, people suffering obviously financially and maybe leading into bankruptcy?
It is a consequence of all the shutdowns that have occurred that put a lot of stress on business and business owners to the point that many out there are struggling at this point in time, particularly with the lack of tourism in the Wide Bay and Burnett areas. There has to be people out there who are hurting, and we really need to get the message out so as to try and help those people so they're aware of what they can and can't do to try and get past this and get on with life. So I think it's important for people to become aware of their options.
Alan, would it be fair to say the stigma of bankruptcy isn't quite as deep as it used to be?
Totally correct. I'm near retirement age, and when I was a young kid, if someone in the street were to become bankrupt, it was a big gossip within the street. Whereas in this day and age, it's very common for people to utilise bankruptcy. And bankruptcy has the legislation, I should say, has been changed by the government to make it more about rehabilitating people past the problem rather than punishing people because they can't pay their debts. The best way I can demonstrate this is it really does cost society money if we have people that are overwhelmed with stress and debt, and it inhibits their ability to function in day-to-day life. I remember years and years ago, I had a chap who told me that he had to walk around the block 3 times before he could muster the energy to walk through my front door for help. And, he came in and he was essentially hyperventilating when he came through the door, and we sort of sat him down and got some cold water and just did everything to relax him. And it probably took us 20 minutes of just being calm and to try and help this guy settle himself down. And he stayed and we had a long talk, and then he said he was pleased he'd come in, that he went home to get some more documentation, and we didn't see him for quite a while. And then after probably 4 months, he came back in again. It was nowhere near as stressed this time, but you could still tell he was very uneasy. And then, long story short, after about 12 months, he came in and said that he had serious illness and he was going to hospital and wanted to tidy up his affairs. He didn't really think he was going to continue living. So we helped him with his paperwork and got it all lodged for him and wished him all the best. And probably 6 months after that, I was walking out the office to go to lunch, and a bloke in reception said, "Aren't you going to talk to me?" And it was him. And I would say that he had lost probably 30, 40 kilos. I did not recognise him. And he said that all his medical problems were from the stress of all the debt. And he said if ever I come across people like him, I would be welcome to refer to what he went through to let people know it's not like he imagined it to be, and it was the best thing that he ever did. And he's now fitter, healthier, and going really well. But the thing is, he went through a world of pain thinking that bankruptcy was going to be the end of the earth for him. And that's what worries me about all these people who may be experiencing pressure from COVID. They're going through that pain, and we'd like to try and avert that if we could.
ABC Wide Bay speaking to Alan Nicholls, a chartered accountant, talking about the ramifications of bankruptcy and financial issues. You were talking then about affecting people. Alan, here in the Wide Bay Burnett, we've got the unfortunate situation of being Australia's highest unemployed area. So there's stress alone with that added onto this COVID. So for bankruptcy, are you noticing, is it more across the line, all ages, or is it specific to younger people or to middle-aged or older people?
Really is across all ages, all demographics. Like from the point of view that, we've done bankruptcies for doctors. We've done bankruptcies for students. We've done bankruptcies for teachers, right through the whole community. And financial problems can happen to anyone. And it's not a case of a particular group of people that it applies to. It's a case of all members of the community can, at some stage in their life, go through financial difficulty. And for some of those people, they will need bankruptcies to reset and get going again. And that's what bankruptcy is. It's about resetting. And because bankruptcy gets rid of all the people's liabilities except like court fines and a few liabilities like that, but it essentially clears out all the people's debts and gives them a fresh start. So if a person is on Social Security, for example, and they've got liabilities they can't pay, they're able to clean the deck with bankruptcy and get rid of the credit card debt, get rid of the personal loan debt, and use the money they're receiving from Centrelink to go towards their food and their living needs.
Alan, do you ever come across a situation that people are coming to you too late? I mean, had they seen their accountant, their bank manager, or whoever the case may be, they could have saved them, but they just got too deep and they probably needed to come in earlier?
All the time. And the most common comment I get from people is that I wish I'd come and seen you 3 years ago. And it was nothing like what they expected to be. So the further it goes, and the best way I can demonstrate that is the bankruptcy legislation has, bankruptcy is an option for resolution of debt, but it also has debt agreements as an option for resolution of debt. And with debt agreements, that's really for people where they don't need the total reset that bankruptcy can give them, and with a bit of a helping hand, maybe a bit of a reduction of the debt and a payment over a set period of time, they can pay their debts and keep going again. So for people that we can get to early enough, we can organise something like a debt agreement for them where they can have an amount that they owe their creditors reduced, but still make monthly payments over 3 or 5 years and settle their debts and continue on for yet another day. Where it's been left too long or where the level of debt is just too big, people can just clear the decks with bankruptcy, because people who have stress from money, it destroys their lives. It's like a cancer in their lives. It causes them to experience sickness, and it causes both physical and mental health issues. It causes relationship problems. It causes employment problems where the person can't concentrate at work. And it just sort of slowly unravels all their lives. They tend to also become less social because they don't have the money to be able to go to social functions or go up to the club like they always used to, and things like that. So it really is not just about the financial side of clearing up the liabilities. It's about a holistic, total person issue in clearing up the debts, so all aspects of the person's life can be returned to normal.
Well, Alan, I hope there's some people out there that we've helped this morning, because, as I said, there's enough issues in life with COVID and other associated problems to add bankruptcy on the top of it all. Alan, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure, Rick.